Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the SWUS. We got a college football game on Thanksgiving, a big one too. Navy, Memphis. Let's get into it.
I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points?
I would hope.
Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce.
All right, we got Navy on the road at Memphis. This is a Memphis team that's coming off back-to-back losses. This is actually the first time they've lost back-to-back games since 2022. 38-32 to Tulane, 31-27 to ECU. Both were tough losses, too. So those losses essentially eliminated Memphis from the conference championship conversation. But they do have a chance to play spoiler and get revenge for what happened last year. For those of you that didn't watch this game last year, 100 points were scored in this game. The final score was 56-44. Memphis went on the road to Annapolis, 56-44. How do you score 44 points and lose by double digits? That's what someone was just talking about. Crazy. So, look, Memphis is no longer in the conference championship discussion, but they have a chance to play to get some revenge against Navy from last year and play spoiler to Navy season, because Navy is very much still in the conference championship conversation. By the way, Navy playing their first game on Thanksgiving Day since 1898. Not 1998, 1898. What is that, 127 years? 127 years ago. That's the last time Navy played a game on Thanksgiving Day. Now, thanks to Navy's upset, they just they're coming off an upset win over South Florida. They are, like I said, they're still alive in the conference championship race. They do not control their destiny, though. So, obviously, they need to win this game against Memphis, and then they need one of North Texas or Tulane to lose. So, Navy needs some help. They do not control their own destiny here. So, let's match these two teams up on the field. And I'll tell you right off the bat, I don't really like this matchup for Navy. I mean, we know what Navy wants to do offensively. They run the option. They have a very, very consistent offense. In fact, they're one of the most efficient offenses in college football. They're 10th in success rate, 8th in PPA per play. They're first in success rate per rush, second in PPA per rush. But this Memphis defense has been really strong up front. They've been strong against the run all year. They're 18th in success rate per rush, 27th in PPA per rush. Where Memphis has struggled defensively is in coverage, is in the secondary. And not that Navy doesn't throw the ball occasionally, but I mean, they're in the top 3 in the country in rushing frequency. This is a run-first offense all the way. This isn't the typical offense that I would think would give Memphis problems here. I mean, even in the 2 games they just lost, like I said, Memphis is coming off back-to-back losses. They weren't getting run on. It's against Tulane and ECU, 2 great teams in the conference. They allowed just 3.53 yards per carry. So it's not defending the run. That's not where Memphis is struggling. They've actually already seen an option offense as well. Back in week 10, they went on the road to play Rice. Now, Rice is not comparable to Navy in terms of just overall offensive efficiency. They're not even in the same discussion, but Rice does run an option offense. And, I mean, Memphis shut it down. Just 2.43 yards per carry, under 24% success rate per rush. Again, Navy's much stronger than Rice, but this is a Memphis defense that's just recently seen an option offense. So I don't think they'll get caught off guard in this one. And when it comes to Navy's offense, I got to say, I want to pull it up, because on this graphic, I just wrote bad defenses, but I want you to hear the names of just how bad these defenses are. The first 8 games of the season for Navy, when they were racking up video game offensive numbers, they played 8 of the worst defenses in the country. They played UAB, Tulsa, Rice is probably the best defense they saw in the first 8 games. Air Force, Temple, FAU, North Texas is the best defense they saw, but they've even had problems defensively. In the last 2 games, now that they're starting to see some stronger defenses, I mean, 36.4% success rate, under 6 yards per play, under 26 points per game. We're seeing this Navy offense look not nearly as potent in the last 2 games now that they've seen some stronger defenses. And Memphis defensively belongs somewhere in the conversation next to South Florida in terms of defensive firepower. So I wouldn't be surprised if Memphis is able to generate stops here against this Navy offense that never seems to they always seem to find ways to move the chains. But I think Memphis defense can play a good game. And on the other side of the ball, I mean, it's pretty simple here. How are we expecting Navy to generate stops in this game? Brendan Lewis should be good to go, by the way. He was dealing with an injury earlier in the season. He even missed the game. He was injured in the last game, left, and then came back. But I believe the injury in the last game was his wrist. And the reason that's relieving is he was dealing with an ankle injury earlier in the season. So the injury he left the game with 2 weeks ago before the bye week, that was a wrist injury, and then he returned into the game and finished the game. So Brendan Lewis should be good to go, and as long as he's fine, I don't imagine Navy's able to generate stops in this game. This secondary has had problems all year. I know Memphis is more of a run-first offense, and Brendan Lewis is not your prototypical pocket passer, but he's more than capable of making the throws. And Navy specifically has struggled with explosive plays, 115th in explosive play rate allowed. They also create no havoc. So Memphis offensively should be able to sustain drives as well as connect on big plays. Yeah, I like this matchup for Memphis. This line opened up at 6.5. I thought that was about right. I now see a 3.5 open. In my opinion, it's come down way too far. So even though it was originally a pass, I think I'm going to add Memphis minus 3.5. In fact, I just recorded a segment where I was talking about I was considering Memphis at 4. It's at 3.5 now. So it continues to come down. Maybe some Blake Horvath news got released. I'm not sure. I'll have to check. That's the Navy quarterback, leading rusher. He's actually being mentioned in Heisman conversations. He left their last game injured. So maybe Horvath is announced. It's been announced that he's good to go. I already was assuming he's going to play. It's the last game of the season. They're playing for the conference championship, and he's in the Heisman discussion. If he's not dead, he's going to play. So I already assumed he was going to play. But I'm saying maybe that's the reason for the line movement. Give me Memphis minus 3.5. I'm going to add this, actually. Screw it. Memphis minus 3.5. I'm doing it. Thanks for watching live shows at midnight Eastern time. As always, if you're able to make it, would love to see you in the comments. Let's have ourselves a great holiday weekend. Remember to bet responsibly. Later.